Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. All right, the first two are not here. So we're going to go ahead and start with John Jopio. Mr. Bennett.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. Is your client with you?
He is not with me, but he is on Zoom.
Sarah, do you see him in the waiting room? Because I can't find him.
No, sir, I don't.
Will you give your client
Okay, I just talked to him on the phone, Judge. I'll shoot him a text and tell him that he's not showing up.
Okay.
But
We'll come back to you.
I'm sorry.
We'll
Okay.
come back to you. All right. I believe the first case is here now. Sarah, email James Stevens, find out where he's at. Mr. Quaja.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. Mr. Raza, if you turn your video on, please.
Yes, sir. Can you all see me?
Yes. All right. We're on the record in 23 CCR 235144, State of Texas versus Syed Raza. We are here on a follow-up hearing regarding a motion to modify bond conditions. There's a new order that has been filed, a proposed order, I should say, asking the removal of the 1,000 feet from 5407 King Plains Creek Lane, Sugarland, Texas, 77478. I remember, Ms. Chapo, you were going to speak with the complaining witness in this case, I believe, and where do we stand?
Yes, Judge, it's okay if the defendant returns home, so state is unopposed to lifting the restriction at this time.
Right. Motion's granted. I'll sign the order shortly.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Quaja, thank you. You're free to go. You and your client both, I should say.
Thank you, sir.
Sarah, did you put that on my bench queue?
Judge, you marked it denied C.
No, there's a new one that's been filed on the 24th.
That's the one that you found.
I just made a docket entry instead. Let's go to number 4, livery. Karen Livery, they're in person. If they go to the meeting room.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Is your client with you? I thought,
She should be on Zoom. I was going to be in person because we have a PSI hearing upstairs. If you briefly let me poke my head up, there she is.
all right, we're on the record in 23 CCR 232-684, State of Texas versus Karen Livery. Counselor, why don't you give me an update?
Yes, Judge. I believe we were waiting to submit some counseling material to Mr. O'Brien in consideration for Ms. Livery's PTI. We have that counseling information. It may have already been sent to Mr. O'Brien. I'm not sure if that's been sent over yet, but we should have an answer on the PTI by our next status judge.
Did have a quick question on that, Judge, if I may.
You may.
So I have not yet received the information you're referring to, but given that this used to be ADA Scoville's case, I was reviewing it and it appears he already had plea paperwork written up and everything like that. Did y'all come to some sort of agreement in regards to a deferred offer?
I would have to take a look at communications that he had with either Mr. McDougall Senior or Junior. I haven't had any of those communications with him, and
Okay.
Mr. McDougall Junior is in a PSI hearing at the moment. But I can
Understood.
touch base with him and get back with you by the end of the day.
I'd appreciate that if you could. Thank you, David.
All right. Thank you for the update. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Let's move to Thomas.
He is in person.
Sorry.
He's in person.
Sarah's very muffled.
How you doing?
Are you Tevin Thomas?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Ryan, you there?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we've got your client here as well. We're on the record in 23 CCR 232-699, State of Texas versus Tevin Thomas. Mr. Ryan, if you would give the court an update.
Yes, Your Honor. This morning, the state gave me a great deal of information regarding discovery in this matter. They also extended an offer. I did not get out of the district courts until about an hour ago. So I've not had a chance to communicate the offer to my client. Hopefully, we will be accepting this offer soon, and we will be able to have this dismissed before the next setting.
Outstanding. All right, well, next setting is June 13th for pretrial conference. That's in person. Obviously, if it's dismissed beforehand, you and your client don't need to appear. Thank you for
Yes,
the
sir.
update, Mr. Ryan. You're free to go.
Your Honor, before you get rid of me, last Tuesday I was on and I had one client on. I expected to be called for a second. That client's case had been reset from the freeze, but we were not called, and I just want to make sure he didn't get his case dismissed. Do you want me to email Sarah about this, or?
Please take a look or email Sarah and y'all can talk about it, figure it out.
Very good. There's also a further complication that he picked up a new misdemeanor that's been assigned to court 3. So I'll give Sarah that case number so we can get everything moved to you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
You want to do Mr. Superintendent?
Mr. DeLeaf, are you the attorney on this case now, not Mr. Usler? Go ahead.
Judge, I purchased Robert Usler's practice about 18 months ago. So some of the cases that were filed in his name originally. He's still working there, essentially kind of like partners now. So we are both, but if someone needs to be responsible for this case, it's me. And I can file an additional attorney of record if you'd like me to.
If you don't mind, that way we can get it changed in the system.
Absolutely. I will have my paralegal file that today. It can be a supplemental if we can both be on it, or otherwise I'll get him to file that today.
Thank you. All right, we're on the record in 23 CCR 232553, State of Texas versus Herrera Hassan. All right, Mr. DeLeaf, if you'd give me an update on this case.
Thank you, Judge. We have received, the case is probably about 9 or 10 months old right now. We've received all evidence. We've done a review of our evidence, and I'm going to switch to another screen real quick. We've done a full review of our evidence. I can tell you it's not the most triable case for defense. It is my understanding, I was in court in district court in Galveston this morning. I've just got on the computer. It's my understanding that the prosecutor did make us an offer today, which I haven't been able to discuss yet with my client. It's an offer. It's not what I'd like. So I'd like to get in touch with the prosecutor now that I have something. I can do that this coming up week, and I'll meet with my client, speak to him on the phone later on today, and we'll come up with a counter offer and see if the prosecutor's amicable for that, and we'll go from there, if that's okay with the court.
That's fine. Next setting is June 13th for a pretrial conference. That's in person.
And Judge, if we resolve the case before that for a plea, will that be done? Can that be done before that, or would that be done at that date?
No, it can be done before. Just contact Sarah and she'll give you a plea date.
Excellent. Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it. May we be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
All right, let's go back to the interpreter case. Now that Mr. Stevens is here.
Your Honor, would you like me to tell Mr. Leiva to turn on his camera?
Love you to do that, but he can't even hear you right now. His audio is not connected. We're gonna give him a second, see if he figures it out.
Yeah, say something, Judge. While
Hold
we're
on,
waiting.
Ms. Pizzurro, if you would, could you maybe chat with him in Spanish? Send him a chat message asking him to connect his audio. I know what you're about to get at, Mr. Stevens. I see the file. I know what's about to take place, but I want to make sure he hears everything.
Exactly.
Sarah, there's an order. If you push that through to my bench queue.
I sent the chat message, Your Honor.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and get started. You're going to interpret just like always. And whether he hears it or not, that's up to him. If he wants to connect halfway through, that's the case. That'll be the case. So raise your right hand, Ms. Pizzurro. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will truly and accurately translate from English to Spanish and from Spanish to English, so help you God?
I do.
Very good. All right, Mr. Stevens, I believe you're going to get at the fact that a motion to withdraw the MRP has been filed today.
Señor
That's correct.
Stevens, creo
Go
que
on, sir.
va a hablar acerca de la moción para retirar el MRP que se ha presentado el día de hoy.
That's correct.
¿Eso es correcto?
And I explained to my client that that is probably what you would probably sign it, but we have to wait and see.
Y le expliqué a mi cliente que usted probablemente la iba a firmar, pero teníamos que esperar y ver.
And I told him that he would need to log on regardless of the fact that the state had filed that.
Y le dije que tenía que conectarse a pesar del hecho de que la fiscalía había presentado eso.
Because we didn't assume anything, Judge.
No queríamos asumir nada, juez.
All right, well, the state's motion to withdraw the motion to revoke probation is granted and court costs are waived. It's signed.
Okay, and
Muy
I
bien.
will phone him. I'm sorry.
La moción de la fiscalía para retirar la libertad condicional queda aceptada, firmada y todas las tasas judiciales y costos quedan desestimados.
When I leave this Zoom meeting, Judge, I'm going to call him immediately and talk to him.
Cuando dejemos esta reunión por Zoom, juez, lo llamaré inmediatamente y le comunicaré.
Very good. That concludes the matter. Thank you, Mr. Stevens.
Thank you, Judge.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, you may. Thank you. All right, we're getting started. We're on the record in 23 CCR 232537, State of Texas versus John Jopio. Mr. Bennett, if you give the court a status update on the case.
Yes, sir. Mr. O'Brien and I have been in contact over the last couple of weeks. We have John Jopio scheduled for a DWI court assessment on, let me confirm, I believe it's February 22nd at 9 a.m.
Hello?
Yeah. Mr. Jopio, if you just mute yourself, please.
Sorry?
No,
If you would mute yourself, please. There we go. All right, Mr. Bennett, next court setting is June 13th for a pretrial conference, 9 a.m. That's in person, unless, of course, this case is transferred into DWI court.
June 13th, you say it's in person, Judge?
That is, yes, it is.
Very good. And what time? Just one more time, please.
9 a.m.
Very good. See y'all then.
Thank you. You and
Have a
your
good
client
day.
are free to go. Good. Good afternoon. All right, we're on the record in 23 CCR 232648, State of Texas versus Michelle Atkins. Mr. Cohen, if you give the court an update, please.
Sure.
So I did receive an offer on this case from Ms. Chopper, and we reviewed and talked about it with my client as well. And we sent a counter to Ms. Chopper. So just waiting to hear back from her on that.
Okay. June 13th, your next court date. So that's in person, pre-trial conference. If you resolve it before then, contact Sarah and you can get a plea date before that date.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Client are free to go.
Thank you. Good day.
I do not see the next.
Madrano, is that case going to be dismissed upon signing this motion to forfeit?
Yes, Judge. I already have the motion to dismiss written up. I was just waiting for your signature on the motion to forfeit to
Sarah,
submit.
put it in my queue.
I'll go ahead and email Sarah the motion to dismiss as well, Judge.
My Odyssey froze.
You've been having all kinds of issues with Odyssey today.
Sarah, I just sent you the motion to dismiss as well.
All right, they're both signed. Go to the next case.
Hello, good morning, or good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We're on the record in 23 CCR 232564, State of Texas versus Montreal Banks. Ms. Moreno, if you give the court an update.
Judge, I think last we spoke, my client had agreed to accept a time served, so I think we just need to sign and do the plea paperwork.
Jessica, did you receive that offer from ADA Scoville?
Let me look at the email because I had replied to the last.
If you find it, could you forward me that correspondence just so I know it's there? Because as reflected in Odyssey, that wasn't the most recent offer, so I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Right, the most recent offer we had discussed in court, and then I sent an email to Colin Scoville after we discussed it in court, asking him to give me the time served. So yeah, so I guess I just need to update you on what we verbally agreed on.
Okay, I'll follow up with Colin as well, and then assuming everything's in line, I'm happy to proceed with the plea date, Judge.
Sarah, give her a date.
I have 2/6 or 2/13.
Let me look at the calendar. 213.
Okay, 213 is at 1:30.
Okay, 213 and 1:30 it is. See you then. You and your client both in my courtroom.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're free to go. Mr. Bryant, good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon, Judge. How you doing?
I'm good. Let's get your client to turn on her video.
Okay.
There we go. We're on the record in 22 CCR 228335, State of Texas versus Jasmine Willis. Mr. Bryant, if you give the court an update.
Okay, Judge, we have been negotiating, myself and the district attorney's office, and we have conducted and concluded a possible resolution of the case as of today. I think that if we can between now and the next setting, we will have the case resolved with this new offer that I've been presented with that I'm going to be discussing with my client. So at this point, we are ready to probably resolve the case, have it resolved prior to the next setting.
Okay. Well, your next setting is June 13th at 9 a.m. That's an in-person docket.
Yes, sir. And Judge, I think, to be very honest, I think it'll be done months before then, based upon the new offer I've received.
Outstanding. I've made a note in the system. Appreciate the information. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Bryant, good afternoon. Mr. Bryant, can you hear me? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Your Honor. I was having issues. I had my computer muted and my mic muted. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing very well. Yourself?
I'm blessed. Thanks for asking.
Good. All right, let's get started. We're on the record in 23 CCR 232611, State of Texas versus Veronica Torres. Before we get into it, I show there's an active warrant on this case, but I don't believe it's out. It's not on this case. I'm just showing the defendant has an active warrant somewhere. Sarah, can you look in the system and see maybe that's out of a JP court or something? We'll just give that a piece of information, Mr. Bryant, at the end of this docket or at the end of this conversation. So, Mr. Bryant, if you would please give me an update on the case.
Yes, Your Honor. I know you have a million cases, so I know you won't remember, but last time we spoke, because of the nature of this offense, the state, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, and I had agreed that if Ms. Torres was able to show that she has a medical condition from her doctor that will not allow her to drive, he may consider doing something on the case. Unfortunately, the very first date she could get is still before pretrial, but is March the 7th at 11 a.m. She's going to see a doctor and hopefully be able to provide me with the paperwork necessary to provide to Gavin.
All right. Well, I'm going to make a note that you'll have this case resolved by the next setting, hopefully.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're fully aware June 13th is your pretrial date.
I am, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. And let's see here. We have a case, a 2015 case out of Fort Bend County JP4, where she has an active warrant. She might want to get that resolved. Mr. Bryant, you and your client are free to go.
Yes, Your Honor.
Y'all have.
Oh, I think I have one more, if I may.
You do. You've got the next case on the docket.
I'll give you a call, Ms. Torres. Mr. Myers, if you would cut your camera on.
There we go. All right, we're on the record in 23 CCR 232-678, State of Texas versus Aristotle Myers. Mr. Bryant, give the court an update.
Yes, Your Honor. Based on conversations that my client and I have had, it appears on this case that we're headed for trial, although he obviously asked me on the front end. My client requested if he could briefly address the court, but to update the court, it looks like we're headed for trial.
You want your client to speak to the court directly?
I don't want to, Your Honor, but he asked me to. I'm not a very rude guy, so I told him it'll be up to you if you allow him to speak with you. But
all right, Mr. Myers, I'll give you an opportunity to say something to the court. You need to unmute yourself to be able to speak.
Oh, I see the button. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. And I want to thank you again for helping me out last time that we spoke. I just wanted to apologize to the court in the state of Texas. Me being from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I did not know how serious these things were. So now I just wanted to give my best regards that something like this would never happen again. As if my mother is in law enforcement, I should have been thinking. I know I'm a grown man, and I apologize again to the state of Texas and the court, just to let you know that something like this would never happen again. As you can see, like, I don't have no background where I'm like bad to society or anything like that. So I just hope, like, if you could find it in your heart, your honor, to like give me a second chance like the last time, and that'd be okay. But I appreciate you even just speaking with me.
All right, well, Mr. Myers, I appreciate the apology. There's not much I can do at this point in time. This is really between your attorney and the state. You need to talk to your attorney about the matter and see what he can't do to help with the situation.
Yes.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Bryant?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Bryant?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, did I mess up?
No, sir. I'll give you a call.
No. So what I do now?
You're free to go, Mr. Myers. You can leave. You can leave.
Oh, I did not.
Don't stress here. You're free to go. Give your attorney a call. Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. Mr. Joma.
Yes, Judge.
Next time, if you would please wear a tie. Try to treat this just like a courtroom.
Yes, Judge. My apologies.
And I'm trying to get your client to turn on his video right now. There we go. All right, we're on the record in 23 CCR 233106, State of Texas versus Christopher Perez. Mr. Joma, if you'd give the court an update on this matter.
Yes, Judge. I just emailed the state. My client does agree to the 18-month deferred adjudication plea deal. We're trying to set it up to where maybe he can come tomorrow to do the plea tomorrow if that's available, or April 2nd.
April 2nd, what you said?
Yes, Judge. I'm throwing up some dates out there.
Sarah, do we have a plea docket tomorrow?
It's just a normal Friday docket.
Yeah, now how about this? We'll set it for February. What was the other date that you gave out? February 5th?
The 6th.
The 6th is a Wednesday.
February 6th is a Tuesday, but I'm in jury trial.
Oh, excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong calendar here. You are correct. February 6th.
Judge, may I jump in real quick?
Yes.
Just in full disclosure to the court, I do still plan to honor the plea offer that I had made to Mr. Jayoma and his client. However, there has been a pretrial bond violation report reflecting 2 new offenses out of Harris County, I believe. I didn't know if it was the court's intention to set it for a revocation hearing. That is normally the procedure in regards to when those violation reports are filed. I just wanted to bring that up to the court's attention so we understand the best way to proceed.
Michelle, have you submitted that to the court? I don't see it in the file.
Actually, the pretrial monitor just sent it to us today, so I have a copy of it. I'll forward it to you now.
Okay. I'll see you and your client tomorrow morning, 9
Yes.
a.m.
9 a.m.
And we can talk about a plea and the violation reports at that time as well.
That's fine, Judge.
All right. Very good.
Thank you. May I be excused?
Yes, you may.
Hello?
Ms. Robertson, if you would turn your video on, please. There we go. All right, we're on the record in 23 CCR 232416, State of Texas versus Sheena Robertson. Mr. Zuniga, if you give the court an update.
Of course, Your Honor. I have received all discovery on this case. The state shared it. I've also received a couple of offers, the latest one being yesterday. I need to meet with my client to discuss that and a possible resolution of this case, but we're heading towards working it out.
Okay. All right, your next setting is June 13th at 9 a.m. That's in-person docket. I'll see you and your client then, unless, of course, you work it out, and you can call Sarah to get a date sooner than that if you've reached an agreement, a plea agreement.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, y'all are free to go. Now, Sarah, the next case, that's the one with still the active warrant out of this court.
Yes.
Bring him in.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Ms. Washington, I'm going to mute you. Mr. Williams, good afternoon. Can you hear me? Mr. Williams, can you hear me? Mr. Williams, can you hear me?
Your Honor, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Mr. Williams,
Yes, sir.
can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, Your Honor.
All right. First off, before we get started, Mr. Williams, next time if you'd wear a tie, just treat this like a courtroom, please.
Yes, sir.
Now let's go ahead and get started on your case. We're on the record in 22 CCR 230862, State of Texas versus Deshaun Washington. Mr. Williams, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, I see you've set the phone down. All right. There's an active warrant on this case. It's my understanding she appeared. It looks like the court never withdrew the warrant.
Yes, sir. She did come the morning that the day after. She didn't show up. You said you would hold it, and she did come that next morning.
All right. I'm making a note withdrawing the KPS and reinstating the bond.
Thank you.
All right. As for a status on this case, can you give me an update?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. We've been offered to be a part of the retail theft diversion program, and we've accepted. We have not paid the fee yet. I talked to Ms. Washington. She told me that she should have the money by next week so that we could pay the fee and sign the contract to enter into the program.
Perfect. All right. Well, just in case, if she doesn't pay the fee and enter the program, her next court setting is June 13th at 9 a.m. That's in person. But if she enters the program, then she does not have to appear on June 13th.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything further, counselor?
No, not from the defense, Your Honor.
All right. Very good. Thank you. You're free to go. You and your client both.
All right. Bye-bye.
Michelle, did you send me those violation reports?
Yes, I did. I sent it.
Did you send them to Sarah?
No, I sent them to you. I sent it directly to you. Can we resend it?
Yeah, because I did not get them.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all. That concludes.